And we are live. Hey, Concrete.
Hey girl,
How
what's
are
going on?
you?
Not too bad. It's Sunday, so I'm happy to not be working. I don't have too much going on. Cleaning and cooking stuff. How you doing, Danny?
Child, it's a
How?
Sunday. I'm here with these badass kids.
Mhm.
I love them to death, though. Got my play nieces over here and my son, and so they're tearing up my house, and that's always fun on a Sunday. So we eating pizza and chilling out.
Girl, I do not miss those days. Kids tearing up my house. This makes me happy to live. Happy to not have any kids in the house. I guess I'll say.
Okay, okay.
Has anybody joined us
Yeah,
yet? Let
honey.
me pull it out.
Girl, we got two people in the chat, and if you can hold on, because the little
Oh,
neighbor is
okay.
here, and she wants them to bring their ass. So hold on,
Okay.
child.
Hey to everybody in the chat. I guess to the two people that joined us, it looks like BMT and Curlin. Hey, bro. Hey, BMT. Um, I'm reading the comments. BMT said him and his lady fix each other plate. And Curlin said his woman fixes his plate. We're going to get off into that. I think that this will be a light topic, something different, something other than our usual heavy topics that we do. So, yeah, we going to talk about it a little bit. Bear with us just a moment. Danielle stepped away, but we're going to get off into this topic. I'm not even going to tell y'all what I do in my house, but it's interesting to see that people have different dynamics. Different things work for different people. So, um, some men do the cooking and all the cleaning, and they're the ones who fix the plates. But we want to know if your lady caters to you.
Girl, I'm back, child.
Okay.
The little neighbor, she's so funny because she's so persistent. I told we pulled up and she was like, "Are they coming outside?" I'm like, "Yeah, they'll be outside." She didn't came and knocked on the door like, "God damn it, I thought you said they was coming."
Girl, kids still go outside to play. I didn't even seriously. My nephews and stuff, they barely go outside.
You know what? I think over here I live in a working class neighborhood, so it's
Mm-hmm.
basically like working class people, but it's quiet neighborhood.
Okay.
And we have the basketball goal in front of my house. And
Mm-hmm.
so did this little girl just leave my damn dog? Girl. Little girl, come close my door.
If she don't sound like somebody mama, seriously, this is giving me flashbacks of my mom fussing at us for running in and out the house.
Girl, left my door wide open.
Girl, you sound like somebody mama for real. Oh my god. You giving me flashbacks. What the heck?
I went all the way to the door. I could have closed it, but I went all the way to the door to make her come close the door.
You said, little girl, come close my door. Oh my
Shit.
gosh. I literally have flashbacks. I'm like, next she gonna be asked to go get a switch. I'm just
Girl.
joking. I am just joking. But yeah, so good to know, the kids still go outside to play. Girl, if I had kids, I would make them get outside. You better go sit under a tree with that tablet. Get out my house. True. I have kids, if my kids were younger.
Yeah.
We grew up in my kids, when they were really small, we lived in a suburban town. So they still went outside to play. My friends had kids their age, and I have a humongous family. So their cousins and everybody. So they still, would go outside to play. But this was in the 90s, early 2000s. So, it was a different time. I didn't think kids still go outside to play.
Girl, yeah. It's really, really nice out. I think the temperature is 74 degrees today. And so
Oh.
with it being 74, yeah, y'all can't stay y'all ass up in here and be looking at me. Get outside to play because yeah, child, especially Solomon. Solomon, Oh, we.
That's right. Let them go tire themselves out. But
Yes, he has this basketball championship coming up, so I'm really proud of that. They went
aw,
undefeated this season.
that's exciting.
Yeah, honey. So I'm excited. I'm
All
excited.
right. Well, I did talk a little bit about how this is a different topic from what we typically do. It's not so heavy. We're going to have a little lighthearted topic that maybe we can have a little bit of fun with. Asking the fellas if their lady fixes their plates, and the women who join us in the chat, are you fixing your man plate today, sis? Like, what's up? Let us know.
He can get that
So,
shit himself.
first of all, we already your bay has already spoken. He was one of the first
Oh, so I
comments.
can't get on here in front.
No, don't start. Don't start. He let it be known that his
So
woman fixes
I
his
was getting ready to
plate.
start my ass off. I ain't fixing
Nah,
shit. He can
sis,
just
ain't
fix
nobody
it.
buying it. You already been bust out.
He can
And
let
ain't
me
nothing
fuck
wrong
one
with
up.
that. Different strokes for different folks. You want to go ahead and speak on how you guys do things in your relationship, and then I'll chime in.
Sure. Generally, now Curlin does cook a little bit more than I do, but um, and if he cooks, he will fix my plate if he cooks. But generally, I try to make sure I fix his plate. I really try to make sure he has everything that I serve him, but because I really like doing it. And yeah, I really like serving my man. So I want to make sure he has everything he needs, and
Yeah,
it's nice.
yeah.
I'm treated really, really well by my man, so I feel like that's the very least I can do is
Okay, okay.
to show my appreciation.
Yeah, so he sounds deserving.
Very much.
Um, you know what this topic reminds me of? You remember like a few years ago, that like, oh my gosh, it was like a repetitive topic on like Facebook and social media where they would ask like who gets their plate fixed first, type of thing. You
Mhm.
remember that topic? Oh my gosh, that was flying
Yes.
around. So it reminds me of that. But I do want to say that I am like so old fashioned. I probably should have been born in like the 50s because I fix my man's plate for every meal. Like I get a little bit offended, like when he fends for himself, like literally. And my man, to be completely honest, I cook all the meals. Like he probably cooks. Well, every once in a blue moon he'll cook. Very rarely does he cook, but every once in a blue moon he will cook. And he's a better cook than I am. He is a fantastic cook. However, I prefer to do the cooking. And even if I'm like making one of his specialties, I'll be like, babe, so what do you use when he like, just do your own thing. He's kind of cocky. So he'll be like, don't try to make it taste like mine. Cause you ain't, you reaching too high by doing that. So he'll play with me like that. But I literally kind of get a little offended if he's doing too much for himself. I feel like that's part of my role. And here comes the mammyism. that's part of my
Girl,
role.
no, my mom literally told me
Mm-hmm.
to make sure you handicap your man. So,
Mm.
when you handicap a man, um, it really does it makes it harder for a man to just run off and leave you, because usually if you're doing your job as a woman, it's hard for them to leave anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, like if you handicap them, you do all the things, the little things. And I really mean like it's the little things that most people
Yeah.
won't think about. Make sure you're doing all the little things. And men generally don't know what to do when your ass is gone. They don't, like, I don't
That's
want my
true.
man to know how to work the refrigerator, child.
Like, I'm the same way. And to be completely honest, when you say it, like to me, those are like smaller things. And I was in a relationship with my ex. I still did all the cooking and tending to the kids in addition to working a full-time job. And I just, I didn't complain because I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I,
Mhm.
try to lead a very structured life because that's how I thrive. So I do like planning. I, would iron the clothes on Sunday. I would, go to the grocery store on the weekends for the week ahead and kind of, map out my meals. So I do a lot of planning, which helps me to keep everything in line. But I think that, to me, I take great pride in that. Like I'm going to cater to my man. He calls me spoiled, but I think he's spoiled. I bring the TV tray to him, the little tray, because we rarely eat in the dining room. Bring his food, his drink, any condiments he needs, all that. I'm doing all that.
Yeah, yeah, honey. Yeah, because and I asked this question on my Facebook, And there were quite a few men like, there's nothing wrong with my hands. I can do it myself. And I'm like, okay. And it is different strokes for different
And
folks.
that's kind of what the men in the chat, a lot of what BMT, I keep hearing them saying, like, I don't have a problem fixing. And there's, my man, he doesn't care. I mean, if I said, babe, I'm tired, you go ahead, and he doesn't care. But it's something that I enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy catering to my man, so it's something that I enjoy doing.
Right? Yeah, child. It was crazy. What kind of made me think about it, I was listening to somebody's channel. I want to say it was O'Shea. And I want to say that it was somebody who got up on the panel and was like, the girl told somebody he can fix his own damn plate. And I was like, damn.
Oh, wow.
That was
how, like, okay, so for Black families, like, Black people have shared experiences. So, like, a lot of times when you're the girlfriend and you kind of auditioning and you're trying to impress, and it's like the first family function that he takes you to, and all the aunts, they watching to see if you're gonna fix his plate type of thing.
Right.
I do not know why, but this topic makes me think of that, which, I mean, of course, you're not in a relationship with them. And to be completely honest, what I'm speaking of is just who I am as a person. Like, my kids are grown, and when they come over, I still fix their plates. And both of my kids have been dating the same guy. One of my daughters is actually engaged, and my youngest daughter, they've both been with the same guy for a long time. Like, I'll fix their plates too. Like, that's just who I am. And I'm usually the last to eat. I probably start washing dishes and cleaning the kitchen before I even fix my plate and sit down to eat. And it's just a part of who I am.
So what would you do? Let's say you and your man are at a cookout, right? And a woman decides that she wants to fix your man's plate before you can get to it. What do you do in that situation?
No, sis. Look, I had a conversation with my fiance when we first met, and we were talking about pet peeves, and he is he has some different things that he subscribes to, like, that were kind of different to me. So he was telling me some of his pet peeves, and I told him, I think, like, maybe one of the only things that I listed was like, another woman can't cook for you, another woman can't fix your plate. Like, I don't do that. Like, there's something, to me, there's something in that act. It's an act of submission, and I don't, and if it's his daughter or something like that, then I don't mind. But a strange woman, a friend or something, no.
Yeah, what would you say?
I got this. What you mean? Like,
no. So she walks over and she's sexy, and she walks over with a plate and like, here you go. You want anything to drink? And you just sitting there. What would you say?
You know what? I probably, okay, so a few years ago, I was a different concrete, but trying to be mature and trying to be refined. I would look at him, and I would expect him to address it. I'm gonna look at him and smile, and I'm gonna wait for him to address it, because he knows he knows how I feel about that. So I'm gonna expect him to decline the plate and tell her no, thank you.
You know what I would do?
What would you, girl? I'm scared to ask. What would you do?
I'd be like, hey, sweetie, can I get some chicken and some salad? And can you bring me
You're so petty. Just take the plate from her and start eating off of it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you are so petty. See, okay, so for me, I'm very black and white. So I don't have like an in-between. And people, even in this space, I'm very black and white. I'm a very pleasant person until I'm not. So I don't have like a middle of the road. So I don't really even have a petty button, because it's either I'm gonna go all the way off, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna be nice about it. So I just don't have an in-between. So literally I would just look at him, because my reaction ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Yeah, after a couple of years of anger management, child, I actually try to put myself in situations to where I would become reactionary, but I don't. Mm-hmm. And so I really practice on not being reactionary, because I have I used to have a very horrible temper. And so, yeah, it works. Like, I'm not as reactionary. I'm nowhere near as reactionary as I used to be. And
yeah. And that's something I've had to work on too.
Yeah, people were usually able to trigger me at the slightest slight. If I thought it was any shade, what's And yeah, child, after you go to never mind. Um
But you know what? In that same vein, like men will be like, "Oh, women be tripping over nothing. It's just a plate." And da 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 da. I feel like everybody has something. There are certain things that I might not find. I may not see any harm in doing, but once my man let me know like that, these are no nos for him, then it was off limits. I'm not even gonna question it. It's like, okay, for example, there are certain areas of town that I can't go into. Like literally, he'll be like, and he has intimate knowledge regarding the workings. So, I trust that. And he'll be like, nah, you ain't going over there. And I don't be like, oh, no, I'm grown and da 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 da, because I know that it's for my safety. I know that he has my best interests at heart. I know that it's out of care and concern. It's not like him trying to be controlling because he thinks men are over there. Like that, he has valid reasons for not wanting me over there, and I'm not questioning that. And he didn't really question when I said, I'm not feeling another woman fixing your plate or fixing you food, and that whole, how we joke about having work husbands.
yeah,
That
I
ain't gonna
don't.
happen for mine. Not for mine. I'm sorry. Nah, sis.
Have you ever had a work spouse?
Unofficially, yes.
Okay.
But I didn't call him my work husband or something, but he really and truly, what it was a guy who was, I'm assuming, intrigued by me. So he would like always come over to my desk and ask me if I needed anything, like bring me coffee in the morning, or like if they were having something in the break room, hey, come over and such and such is going on, or
Like,
where do you have, he would sit with me I would go to lunch, and he come sit down, and even if he wasn't on his lunch, just chat with me a little bit. So it was kind of unofficial.
oh, okay. Were you in a relationship at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did
I
you
was
ever
with my
tell your
fiance.
man about it?
I think I mentioned it to him in passing. He kind of laughed it off because it's somebody that I wouldn't entertain on my deathbed. So he kind of laughed it off. It was somebody of a different persuasion, so he wasn't threatened by it. Yeah,
Oh,
he's like, I ain't.
exactly, honey.
Yeah, he's like, she ain't gonna do that. So it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, I mentioned it to him.
Okay. I had a work husband a long time. Well, yeah, child, a long time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
basically was the same thing, but he was just good people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you work in a mostly male dominated environment, or is it mixed?
now it's more even, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still and I'm 40, but I'm still one of the youngest people there.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, but I work mostly with old men, and old men are freaking hilarious,
Mm.
because they don't care about what they say.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
yeah, honey, they don't care. They don't
You know
care.
what? I've noticed that too. Sometimes I hear like older men talking, like water cooler talk, and I'm like, this is just a sexual harassment suit waiting to happen. Like they be saying some of the wildest stuff. It's like, did you really just say that? Like, I mean, because back in the day, they could do that type of stuff without fear of all the Me Too and feminist
Yeah,
army coming after them. I've never got, it's never been anything that has offended me, so I don't make a big deal out of it. But I just be thinking, like, some of these people are extremely sensitive. Like, you don't know who might hear you.
and it's crazy because they really we do have we work with a white lady,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's the only one. It's a white lady and a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only two white people in our office. And so with the white lady, of course they treat her different. They treat her real different. They
Mm.
hey, Miss Susan, how you doing, Miss Susan? They almost sound like little slaves. I mean,
Oh no, I can't do that. Nah, bruh. Don't do that around me. Don't do the soft shoeing and the shuffling. But oh hey, oh girl, I will throw up in my mouth.
girl.
Like I cannot. I can't stand it.
Yeah, honey. And I'll tell y'all one day about me and Miss Susan's fallout. But yeah, child, she's one of the reasons I ended up in anger management.
Oh Lord. I'm gonna treat Miss Susan just like I treat Natasha and Shakisha. What's up, Miss Susan? Like, you're not getting no special treatment. What you
I ain't
mean?
even calling
Like,
her Miss Susan. I'm calling, what's up,
oh, hey
Susan?
Susan, hey Sue. You ain't getting no
Yeah,
special treatment, sis.
Miss Susan, and it's crazy.
Mhm.
She can get away with. I've seen her get away with things that I know that they wouldn't let a black person get away with. So I
Mm,
found that really, really interesting. So, my eye is on that old heifer. Like, you better stay away.
mhm. Who
But
said what you see BMT down there? Y'all always caping for him, boy. Y'all will step
boy,
on your mama neck for one.
dun, dun, dun. Shit.
Why is it though that in these spaces you never hear people calling out the caping for the other persuasion, but they be quick to call somebody a simp if they defend black women? Simp, simp
Girl,
alert.
you remember when we went on our Obsidian show?
Uh-huh.
Now, when we went on there, they're lying. They're lying about everything. They're liars.
Mm-hmm.
They're black women. They're liars.
Mm-hmm.
Child, when a white woman came on there, oh, she's so pretty.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
Oh
Y'all
my
see how
gosh.
she sounds so feminine?
Oh,
I was like, if
oh.
this ain't some bullshit.
Mm-mm. I'm so glad I wasn't present. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to take it. I cannot take the boot licking. Like, come on now.
Child, they went in for that lady. I was sitting there like that. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I was embarrassed for us, low key. I was really embarrassed.
Oh, somehow I'm not surprised. But
Yeah.
what do you think? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm good.
What do you think we should open it up and let the fellas tell us what they think about women fixing plates and if it's a requirement for them, a must, or do they not really care? Don't put too much stock into it.
Yeah, let's open it up. Let's
Come
see.
on up, brothers, and let us know. I mean, to me, and this is like we said, this is a lighthearted topic, but to me, it is symbolic of your position in the household, and not that okay, if one day you fix your kid's plate first or you don't fix his plate, that it means that you don't value him. But I mean that being a habit and being something that you generally do in household, that to me it says where the hierarchy, it kind of signifies the hierarchy. In
Mm,
addition, it is a form of submission. It shows that you value him for bringing home the bacon, for taking care of the household. It's a way in which it's a small gesture that you can do that lets your man know how grateful you are for him and all the things that he does. So I mean, to be honest, when I think about things with my car, like I'm not going to have to stress about things with my car because I know, hey, if anything ever goes wrong with my car, like I'm literally call him. He would be upset if I didn't call him, even if it's something that could be handled with roadside assistance, but I didn't notify him. So, think I don't have to worry about those things. And he doesn't have to worry about what we're eating for dinner, if he's going to have a plate, if he's getting a big steak, all that is going to be taken care of automatically.
So he gets a big piece of chicken.
All the time. No questions asked.
Oh, well, I thought BMT was gonna say something, but he
He
just
might have
stopped
to.
saying it.
Yeah,
Child,
hopefully he'll hop back up here.
hey,
But
child.
being that you have a small child, I'm gonna go ahead and spring it on you. So who eats first in the household? Or who gets
Now,
their plate first? I'm sorry.
generally, I'm still going to fix the man's plate first, because I still feel like that's a sign of respect. Um, Hold on, let me see how they leave this damn door open. I can't stand kids. See, and they ain't closing my door fast enough. So if I see one fly, oh, it's going down. Hold on,
Mm-mm.
child.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Um, you know, oh, were you finished answering? Because I'll wait till you're done and then I'll try.
Okay,
You said
you were
generally.
asked. Generally, I'm going to fix the man's plate first, because
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much how I was raised. The man gets to eat first. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in most households, we're deep south. Like I'm from Mississippi, like deep in
Oh yeah.
Mississippi,
Oh
and
yes. That's
so
that's where my family
yeah,
from, so I know how it goes.
yeah. So we've always been taught that the man eats first. always. And so,
And to be honest, regarding that, that's something that used to be practiced more, back in the days when people didn't have as many resources. It was important that after a long day of hard labor, that the man came in and he got the big piece of chicken, that his food was ready as soon as he came through the door, because he's been, working hard. And back then, most women, stayed home with the children. So they're not doing manual labor and working up as much of an appetite as the man would. So I understand the premise, but to be completely honest, in this day and age, and I have to say for me, generally, we don't eat like family style where all the food is laid out at the table. I fix the plates, and then even when we're eating at the table, I fix the plates and I take them to the table. I don't take them to the table until all the plates are fixed. So everybody generally gets their food at the same time.
Okay, that makes sense. Because we pretty much do it the same way.
Yeah.
Putting stuff in the kitchen on the plates, and then we bring the stuff out. But
Mm-hmm.
generally, in my families and and I would say the majority of the women, I don't know any woman in my family who would tell the man, "You fix your own goddamn food." I don't know.
Or get him like the little piece of chicken. You get the scraps, whatever's left over. I mean, and to be honest, if you have a man that you don't feel is deserving of the big piece of chicken or of having his plate fixed first, then you probably ain't got no business being with him. He's probably a bum, and you probably ain't got no business being with him. And or there's an issue with you where you don't respect, the male or head of the household.
Well, let's see what BMT has to say.
All right.
Good afternoon, BMT.
Hey, BMT.
Good afternoon. How y'all two are doing?
We're great.
Yeah, y'all got a good topic going in this. It's pretty good, lighthearted, and relaxed. Definitely appreciate y'all too.